windows down. I'm gonna laugh at the sorry faces while I play my 80s music loud.
Bonjour mes amis, hi guys! So I've had this new green Sumo for a few days now, and it's such a jewel on the wrist. Yes, a rather big jewel, but those Omega Speedmaster like twisted lugs and the white bezel actually make the watch look right at home on my 17cm wrist. But god, this color, it's just boss. The dial has that radial sunburst effect that constantly shifts around the light. The bezel is matted green. Some call this watch the Jade Sumo. I guess you could call it emerald as well. Some call it the Greenmo or Hulkmo, as this is very reminiscent of Rolex's sought after green sub. What's for sure is that it makes the Bluemo, the blue version of the Sumo, and the regular black model suddenly look a bit bland now. Add to this a lime green lume generously applied and touches of yellow on the cool seconds hand and at the 4 cardinal points of the angled chapter ring. It's a great balance of colors in my opinion. If you're used to the Sumo, then the rest of my review won't bring much more information, or at least I'm guessing that the rest is the same, as this is my first time actually handling a Sumo. The printing of the information on the dial is discreet and balanced. I really like this choice of hands. Notice how the back of the hour and minute hands have a triangular pattern. I like that straight hour hand design with a double pointer. The minute hand is a more classic sword type. Together they work great on this model. There's really nothing that bothers me visually here. The guardless crown sits proud at the 4 o'clock position with a deep coin edge profile and a S engraved on the face. It operates the date wheel and time adjustment of the 6R15 movement. It's a mid-tier user-friendly 3 Hertz movement with good accuracy, quick set date and hacking seconds. It's not high-end, but at least it's in-house and won't cost much to service or replace altogether. The fun bezel with large, light grey font is another highlight of the Sumo design, as it sinks into that gorgeous case. It has a fairly high coin edge side, a fairly soft clicking action, just enough resistance, not too much backlash. It's typical Seiko and does the job. Notice also how the bezel has a little angled ledge with the minute markers, so that the ever so slightly domed Harlex crystal sinks just enough so it doesn't protrude from the bezel or just barely. I'm not sure what will hit the wall first, the bezel or the Harlex. Let's hope for the Harlex, as I've already picked up a couple of smudges on the bezel insert, which looks like a magnet for little nicks. The crystal doesn't seem to have AR coating, by the way, and it distorts just a little when you tilt the watch. All aligns well here. I have to mention that, since I had to go through 3 of these at the shop to find a good one. I was lucky to have a choice, since these are not so easy to find being a domestic release. Come on Seiko, you can do a little bit better than that. And while on the subject of quality control, the date seems to constantly display a bit too high. At least this proves that this is a real Seiko. But you can realign it manually at the second position if you slightly turn the crown. It would have been nice if the date disc had been colored gray rather than white or even yellow, by the way. Now onto the case. Damn, how nice is this? Polished inside the lugs, brushed on top, polished again on the side, and another thin brush separation and a larger polished section. Now another kicker is that triangle at the edge of the lugs. That's why we love Seiko. Have you noticed that This big watch comes on a 20mm bracelet tapering down to 18mm. And yet, with the lugs, it works better than the super case does on the current Rolex Submariner. The clasp is the standard type with a fold-over safety feature, but you also get a nice diver's extension, the same as on the Shogun, but in steel here, obviously. So is this a keeper? You bet. I delayed the purchase, but once I finally gave in and the plastic films were off the watch, I wanted to beat myself up for not getting it a few weeks earlier. I was lucky to still find one with the markers well aligned. I'm really enjoying wearing this with a suit. It shines just enough and has a ton of presence. Now, that shop brings in the goods from Japan, and I had on the limited edition Marine Master 300 SLA019, which is very tall and expensive but so beautiful. I'm seriously considering it, but I was hoping to see the new Omega Seamaster Professional 300 first, and also the Tudor Black Bay 58. I'm hearing that the Seamaster Pro 300 will only be released now in September at best, October most likely, possibly November. Anyway, I have to say though, when you get into the pro specs mindset, they stand out from those more conservative brands. Seiko isn't bound by the same design limitations. The shop also had the SLA025, which is gorgeous but costs more than my Grand Seiko Snowflake. And they also had the massive Marine Master 1000. Here is the SLA025 on my wrist, courtesy of a colleague who has purchased it. Wow, that's a color combination that you'll never get tired of. Just the right blend of class and eye-catching details. It's easy to get carried away, even if you don't even ever want to dive with these uber tools made for saturation diving. But hey, if the sea levels rise, you might be happy to have one of those handy. Alright, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'd like to hit 1000 subscribers this month. Thanks for those who have stuck around for a while already. I'll speak to you in the next one. Take it easy.